Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the latest in Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition models. Not too bad. Not too bad. I wouldn't put her on the centerfold. Wouldn't put her on the cover or anything like that. You know, that's you know what? Hey, she's pretty good. How old do you think she is? Okay, I know, kind of a weird question to start everything off with. Okay, obviously she's above age, very much so. Okay, but she's being heralded as another one of these inclusive inclusions into Sports Illustrated. I think you know exactly where this is going. And it's not as egregious as last year's inclusion of, you know, whatever washed up on shore and then they just slapped a bikini on her. I'm just saying, if Jordan Peterson wants to keep it 10 toes down, he could opine on this phenomenon as well. But because he has no spine, I might as well. Sports Illustrated swimsuit announces brunette bombshell, brunette and gray, Melissa Wood-Tepperberg, or Tepperberg, sorry. Oy vey, 40. She's 40. As the newest rookie for the 2023 issue. She was going to do the splits, but then her hips started to hurt afterwards. Sports Illustrated swimsuit has a big announcement to make early on Thursday morning. The publication shared that the 40-year-old brunette bombshell Melissa Wood-Tepperberg is the newest rookie of the 2023 issue when it goes on newsstands in May. Screaming, crying, chills all over. No, it's just the menopause. The New York native and renowned wellness expert wrote on Instagram after the news she was selected. How do you think she was selected? Okay, we got some more pictures and everything to go through. And like I said, she's not that bad. Okay, you know what? Hey, 10 years ago, she was probably a bad bitch if we're going to keep it $1.50. 15 years ago, holy, she was probably shutting down most of NYC, to be completely honest, okay? And yeah, for 40 years old, and that disclaimer is doing a lot of the heavy lifting on this one, she looks tremendous. I see a bunch of 25-year-olds who can't even pull off a physique like that. But why her? Because, okay, like I said, there's a lot of 25-year-olds that can't look this good. But there's no 40-year-old that can look as good as a 25-year-old bad bitch, okay? That's just the fucking fact. Let's continue this before I opine on the rest of this stuff as well. Because there you can see, okay? Yeah, there's some light Photoshop work going on here, but you can tell a couple of things, okay? And I don't really care about the, you know, itty-bitty titty committee coming out on this one, okay? Because there's a bunch of different looks that you see inside of a Sports Illustrated issue. Normally, yeah, they got a C or a D cup, okay, but she's in good shape. Sports Illustrated has already sufficiently lowered the bar. As long as her gut doesn't hang over her toes, it's a W, okay? And yeah, man, shout out to her. 40 years old, there's a lot of women out there that have a tremendous amount of baggage that she doesn't possess, okay? Melissa is the second rookie to be announced, following WAG's star Nicole Williams English, who welcomes her baby girl, India Moon, with husband Larry English this week. Oh, so now we got a pregnant one on top of that as well. Melissa is focused on wellness and health. Of course she is, okay? Probably her own. But yo, man, you put a little bit of titty on that? That is a bad bitch right there. Ass is not bad at all whatsoever, but there we go. There's the candid shots that are out there. Okay, she looks every day the 40. Body, absolutely not. But herself, though, yeah, it's not great. Not the first physique that I'd go to whenever I hear Sports Illustrated swimsuit. Well, okay, outside of the confines of the past 5-10 years, okay? Back in the cut in the old days, like, I bought one issue of that because I used to have magazines in my bathroom back when I thought that would be a thing that people would do, but then it was just all outsourced to the one digital device. But hey, man, you know, you think that you have a cool concept in mind, but then you just end up wasting some money. Whatever. We've all been there, right? Okay. I think it was the 2012 edition. Brooklyn Decker was on the front of it. Yeah. Brooklyn Decker, okay, who I think might be 40 right now, but she definitely wasn't back in 2012. Holy! But yo, if our girl right here was on that cover back in the day, 10 years ago, wouldn't have been a problem at all whatsoever. She wouldn't have been the impetus for the story right here. But I ask you, why? Why are these pictures showing up? Now that one I would like to use because I think it's probably the best. It's definitely the best picture that's right there. But you see, like she's definitely got a problem when it comes to, you know, the old lady neck. So she's got something around her neck as well, you know, in order to hide something. At least it's not an Adam's apple. That's probably coming next month, next year, because Sports Illustrated just keeps on trying to, well, completely and totally pander to women that are out there, okay? Because you take a look at the most important metric, okay? And whenever you're trying to figure out what the fuck is all this nonsense going on? Okay, who is the consumer base that's out there? Okay, who would still unironically be buying the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition? Okay, that would be the woman who runs the sexless relationship, who just wants to throw her husband a bone, you know, have that kosher pornography that's out there. Okay, oh, you men in your Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions, I know what you're all about, so I buy you this so you can stop pestering me for some lackadaisical blowjob or some fucking starfish sex. We understand your life sucks, okay? But you run the numbers on this stuff as well, okay? Women are the vast majority of consumers that are out there. Consumer debt, 60%, could be more than that. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up a couple of stats, but 2/3 of the student loan debt are on women, okay? Household expenditures, 80% are decided by women. It would make the most sense for big corporations like the ones that own Sports Illustrated, because I was doing a little bit of diving on this one. You can kind of see that. I need to make sure that everything is properly formatted correctly. Okay, because you take a look, it's like, who owns Sports Illustrated at this point in time? All you need to do is just follow the money on this one. Okay, they are owned by All Brands Group. Okay, and who the fuck are All Brands Group? Well, okay, this is where we need to go full screen on this bitch right here. They own 50 different consumer brands. Okay, a company that owns a bunch of different consumer brands, including Aeropostale, Brooks Brothers, Forever 21. Interesting. Nine West, Nautica, Prince, Reebok, Spider, Tap Out, Thomasville, Vision Street Wear. These are people that are in the business of selling everything and anything, okay? They see where the money goes, okay? And this is an article that is banted about the manosphere quite a bit, okay? Is one that is oft-cited, and I probably pulled a couple of stats from this one a time or two. So given the fact that more and more things, okay? Everything from traditionally masculine things like the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition are being marketed and catered to women. Oh, take a look at that girl. You can go ahead and push back the clock. Take a look at that 40-year-old that's in the swimsuit magazine. Okay. Oh, take a look at that beached whale that was in there. Okay. Last year. Okay. You're beautiful at any size. Take a look at all of the marketing slogans that are out there. Okay. And they're all pushed by those same corporations because they know who does the consuming. They know who carries the debt. They know who makes all the household financial decisions when it comes to buying things. Women. Why do you think Gillette came out with the toxic masculinity ad in 2017 and have never apologized for it all whatsoever? The best a man can get. Oh, but it's toxic masculinity and boys being boys and boys are bullies. They were marketing to women, okay? Because they know who buys the razor for their man at the end of the day. That's why you watch any advertisement in the past. Some people like to say all this stuff kicked off in 2016. Man. Shout out Nick DiPaolo. Yes, the comedian, Nick DiPaolo. He's been on this shit for a long fucking time. And it's something that, you know, I got keen to in about the early to mid 2000s. Okay. Yeah, this shit has been going on for that fucking long. Okay. Where women have been empowered at the expense of men, not to complement, okay, not even to forge their own path. They believe that by tearing down men, they can raise up women, when in actuality, okay, men and women are different and you can raise them up differently. No, man, they see which ways the tides are turning and they can see where the money is going. Ergo, that's why everything is catered to women, okay? Even something that is so fundamentally male-centric as the swimsuit magazine, okay? Healthy at any size, healthy at any, or sexy at any age. It's all designed to further the illusion, to push everything back, to just continue to buy stuff because they want to know, oh my God, girl, you're 40. How do you look so good? What are the creams or what are the makeups that you use that you can buy from Reebok, Tap Out, Aeropostale, Forever 21. Remember, the store is called Forever 21, not Forever 41. Again, just trying to sell you a dream. Because, well, more women are entering the workforce, fewer women are actually happier, but hey man, the good capitalist in everybody understands what's going on. But it's funny, okay? Because these women, they're only supposed to be getting, what, 77 cents on the dollar? And why are they all entering the workforce if they're getting so criminally underpaid? Sure thing. Media and social media focus on gender diversity. The male-female wage gap, yuck, and women's role in the workplace has been a key topic in 2019. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 4, 5, 6. You can see where we're going with this. Progress on gender equality, the male-female wage gap, and women's role in the workplace has rightly been a key focus in culture and media throughout 2019. 2018, 16, 15, anyways, particularly the positive linkage between gender diversity and economics. And this is put out by Morgan Stanley, by the way. Yes, the financial institution, Morgan Stanley. They want to know. And it's like, okay, all of these female dollars that are in the economy right now, how do we funnel them? How do we get them? Okay. For women, these public discussions have set the stage for greater equality in areas like education, professional advancement, income growth, and consumer power. For corporates and investors that embrace these trends, there are numerous benefits, from more nuanced corporate governance and performance to bottom line growth. A recent duo of reports from Morgan Stanley Research approaches this theme from two angles. First, how a growing population of prime working age women in the United States, many single and focused on their career, which, spoiler, very few people actually have a career. Most people just have a job, and these women, because they actually get the security, importance, and attention, from a job, won't even look your average 80% or beta male's way. And that's why they're staying longer in their careers, working more hours, quote unquote, focusing on their career, because they'd rather go to a job that they hate every day, that stresses them out, that they have to get extra education outside of the work hours that they would also go above and beyond for, instead of being saddled with just some fucking average dork. Women would rather take 5 minutes of alpha over a lifetime of beta every single fucking time. And that is every woman. Every single woman. But back to this. Okay, so helps boost wages and create potentially large tailwinds in the number of consumer product categories. Consumer product categories, like magazines. The second report, the Quantitative Equity Research Team shares the proprietary framework to help investors identify the most gender-diverse companies, which tend to be larger, have better stock returns, and skew toward lower volatility. Imagine that. More gender-diverse companies, which just means more women are there. Okay, let's keep it, let's just fucking decipher the financial ease on this one, okay? To be larger, more communitarian, okay, have better stock returns, and skew towards lower volatility. More people there, more people to just equitably distribute the work with, but then are also safer at the same time. Women prioritize safety and security above everything else at the end of the day. Combined, the two reports lay out the case that the coming years, women are positioned to drive the economic conversation from both the inside, as the workforce propelling the company performance, and outside, as consumers powering discretionary spending and GDP. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Why do you think everything is marketed to them now? From recruitment to different large companies that are out there. Oh, we've been around for 50 years. We have a bunch of growing places. You can travel around the world. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff at all whatsoever. And you have a scalable position. You know exactly how much you're going to be making every month. And every year you're going to be getting this amount of raise. And you can plan everything out accordingly. Safe and secure. But it's not a coincidence that this came out in 2019 and all this stuff started to ratchet up in the aftermath. Not at all. While more women have risen to increased levels of power in recent years, the needle has has further to move in compensation equity with their male peers. Oh my God, the U.S. gender wage gap. Boy, I can't wait to, see what we have here, because I've heard a lot about this over the years. In 1980, women earned 64 cents for every dollar that men made. That sounds terrible. According to the Bureau of Statistics, today that gap has shrunk to between 77 and 85 cents on every dollar. Wouldn't you think that you would have more concrete analysis, okay, and such a wide margin of difference there? Oh, but then they get into the methodology. Oh, okay. Well, the difference of 23 cents, the dollar is considerable. The underlying issues have shifted somewhat, with some factors, likely educational inequalities, improving. 60% of women, 60% of universities are female, and 75% of graduates are female. So are those the inequalities that you want to have improved, where it's just a female supremacy? Is that what we're going for? And others like family caregiving responsibilities beginning to move in the right direction. In the past, education or a lower paying occupation choices largely drove the gap. Okay. So it's almost like when they analyze the gender pay gap, you know what they do? They take a look at all of the money earned by men and all of the money earned by women, and then they just lump it all together, and how much money the men make is directly opposed to how much money the women make, and they don't take into account hours worked or jobs performed in order to earn those returns. Okay. Because, take a look at the fundamental things, okay? Psychological research suggests that men are on the whole, are more concerned with things and ideas, okay? More practical, STEM-based ideas, okay? Science, math, technology, and engineering, okay? That's kind of the domain of men. In general, not all men, blah, 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 okay? And then as for women, they're more concerned with people, okay? So your soft sciences, your social sciences, that's what women tend to concern themselves with. And guess what makes more on the whole? That would be much more labor and thought-intensive practices of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as opposed to preschool teachers. Today, motherhood is by far the largest contributor to the wage gap. Yeah, exactly, because they consider that, and you can, of course, it's just unpaid, but it is a job at the end of the day. There's a lot of things that go on, and that's totally fine. Most women are happy doing that as well. By most, I mean practically all, if you just, boil it all down, but still most. Since women who become mothers often choose to stop working or work fewer hours. No, but my wage gap depends on that. If we just need to send these hoes back to work, I guess. In the coming years, we're going in the opposite direction, okay? Another demographic trend that could help further close the pay gap. Don't care about how you arrive there, you just need to close it because arbitrary numbers, okay? And it's never going to be good enough anyways, okay? Because eventually, okay, let's just play this out in full, okay, in totality. Once that wage gap ends up, reaching parity or going above, then it'll be incumbent on men to catch up to the women. See, it's always going to be, men are bad because they weren't paying women enough, and then eventually they're just going to be lazy because they were pushed out of the work field. Hey man, that's the way it goes. But yes, the rising ranks of single working women based on Census Bureau data, historical data, and Morgan Stanley forecast, 45% of prime working age women, 25 to 44, will be single by 2030. And economists and tax collectors around the world clap uproariously. Meanwhile, and so do Big Pharma, because all of the antidepressants that are going to be prescribed, and all of them continue to make money. The largest share in U.S. history, up from 41% in 2018. 45% of prime working age women by 2030. So women just out of college, okay, all the way through their most fertile years, even though, like it just stated a paragraph before, motherhood is by far the largest contributor to the wage gap, since women who become mothers often choose to stop working or work fewer hours. Because those women decide to remove themselves from the workforce, well, you're not supporting the sisterhood uber alles. You're taking yourself out. You're living a fulfilled life. You're doing something that is actually making yourself, happy, measurably, okay? Because whenever it's polled and whenever it's researched, okay, something that makes women happier more than anything else that's out there is a healthy household full with children and a husband. That's what gives them purpose and happiness. What's driving this trend? For starters, more women are delaying marriage, choosing to stay single or divorcing in their 50s and 60s. Great, good choices that are out there. For what reason, after all? Women are also delaying childbirth or having fewer children in the past. Great, wonderful, fantastic. These shifting lifestyle norms are enabling more women with or without children to work full-time, which should continue to raise the labor force participation rate among single females, says Zenter. Who the fuck is Zenter? One of those dudes. Rising labor force participation rates should put upward pressure on women's wages and help increase overall consumer spending. There you go. Rising labor force participation rates should put upward pressure on women's wages and make them spend more money. And that's why they want to continue to push this stuff, because more female dollars in the market means fatter margins for all of the consumer product peddlers that are out there. And I'm not just making this stuff up. Like they say here, as it stands, women already control a large share of the U.S. consumer wallet. They contribute an estimated 7 trillion, that's with a T, that's like Ukraine support levels of money, to the U.S. gross domestic product each year, according to the Center for American Progress. And they are the principal shoppers in 72% of households. 72% of households are controlled by female dollars, according to the consumer survey conducted by MRI Simmons. Meanwhile, women are earning bachelor's degree at a higher rate than men, and they are the primary breadwinner in nearly 30% of married households. That sucks. And 40% of total U.S. households. Because women now contribute significantly more to household income than previous generations and remain the primary shopper for most households, their influence has grown in nature and degree. That's why you've seen such a ratcheting up in the marketing over the past couple of years. There is absolutely nothing that happens by accident. Follow the numbers. This is true whether women are single or married, she adds, though spending decisions do vary by relationship status. Yes, not all relationships, but let's keep it $1.50. We find that single women outspend the average household, so that's why they want to keep you single, by the way. Shifting spending profiles towards categories most poised to benefit the demographic growth in single women and rising incomes. Gee, I wonder what that would be. Purely consumer products instead of anything that would help and raise a healthy family. So why all the marketing is getting so aggressively feminist, because single women, what they're not saying, well, what they're saying much more politely is single women buy a bunch of crap, buy a bunch of consumables, buy liabilities. Yeah, we got the stats to prove that. Okay, so single females in the blue, single males in the yellow, and households, okay, so in the green. Okay, so apparel and footwear. Okay, so single males are, oh man, those fucking sneakerheads make me sick, man. So this is apparently singles outspend average U.S. households on or per person adjusted basis in several categories. So is this per month? Because that's interesting. The only thing that they have single women leading is vehicle purchases, which is kind of weird, okay, because you have food away from home. It's like, okay, so restaurants. So single men picking up the tab, okay, it doesn't really factor into the single females that are out there, but okay. Apparel and footwear. Men spending more on apparel and footwear. You've got the stats there, but I don't see a breakdown of it. I'll take you at your word, but I do find it hard to believe. I'm a bit skeptical on that, and especially like vehicle purchases, really? It's like, I guess if you're going to buy like one of the biggest liabilities in single women making uninformed choices, that makes sense. Okay. And then personal care, like, I don't know what they're rolling in on that one, man, but your single males just about doubling on personal care. What are you talking about when it comes to rolling in certain things for personal care? Because I don't really know about that, man. The trend is set to boost segments of the economy where single women historically spend more, including apparel and footwear. So are these colors just backwards or something like that? Because you're saying something that's completely different than your chart is. Okay. That's wild. Okay. Unless the simp economy is that strong, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay. The trend is to boost segments of the economy where single women historically spend more, including apparel, footwear, personal care, food away from home, luxury and electric automobiles. Aha. Specific sector of the company outlooks. Ask your more. Yeah, I'm not asking that fucking fraud. Fuck him. Women in global leadership, they're doing so well. That's why they're all retiring and stepping back because of burnout. The improvement in economic status may also come in part thanks to the increased influence globally in both politics and business. Today, women make up nearly 25% of U.S. Congress. Yeah, but you don't want to talk about some of them that are actually making good laws because they're not AOC. Today, women, compared to just 2% in the 1970s, what society was better off? Anyways, in the business world, more women than ever are serving as CEOs. Yeah, like, what's her name? Elizabeth Holmes did a great job. Board members and other high-profile positions at top companies. Why don't you talk about Linda McMahon? Oh, you don't want to use that example. While the relationship between the timing and the pace of these gains is unclear, the trend does not indicate shifting attitudes and norms surrounding women in leadership positions, says Jessica Alsford. All right. who heads Morgan Stanley Global Sustainability Research. Since 2010, the percentage of women executives increased all across developed regions, with large gains in Asia, excluding Japan, because Japan is fucking based, and with a doubling participation since 2010. And you take a look at the birth rates, and well, then you can include Japan on that one, and you notice, oh boy, it's not good. So why do you think? Okay, all of these women are single. Okay, and just about half of them by 2030 are going to be single but employed. Okay, they're going to have all of that attention and everything that they need, minus, well, that's why, sex toy industry is so strong on the female side. Maybe that's some of that consumer money that's out there in the zeitgeist. They get everything that they want from an employer, so they aren't getting birth rates up to replication levels. Hell, in most of the in a lot of Asian countries that are around there, it's well below, like just about a person below, especially in Japan. I think Japan's the worst off at like 1.5 or 1.3. Like, it's pretty horrific, okay? And that's why there's that other push of just, wow, we could just go ahead and just import all the immigrants everywhere. What could possibly go wrong? The good news for women is also good business. There we go. A growing body of research demonstrates that gender diverse firms, benefit from the experiences and insight that women bring. But I thought men and women were the same. What are you trying to say here? Which can translate to better investment outcomes and returns. I cite your sources, because that's a big claim, okay? And the word "can" is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. Our analysis shows that globally, companies that have taken a holistic approach towards equal representation have outperformed their less diverse peers by 3.1% per year over the past 8 years, says, I have no idea who that is. Firms that employ higher gender diversity based on her score, okay, have outperformed less diverse peer. I don't know what her is, nor do I really care. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the holistic equal representation scores looks at gender diversity from many angles, including a percentage of women who are board members, executives, managers, and employees. That is fan-fucking-tastic. Even in the face of these industry-related and regional differences, and the trend line is clear. Over the past 8 years, stocks and more diverse companies have outperformed their benchmarks across the MSCI developed regions, even after controlling for size, yield, profitability, and risk. That's the first time that they point anything out. Interesting. Whether gender diversity drives better performance or a reflection of forward-thinking companies, the relationship is likely to become more pervasive as women play increasingly more prominent roles in the workplace and, in turn, the global economy. Yeah, because they just like to throw out money, even though they spend a lot more inside of a happy, healthy relationship. And we can pull more stats as to, well, women drive the most, satisfaction out of, a dead-end job, or a happy, healthy family, and, fostering the next generation. But no, you keep these bitches single, you keep them working, they continue to spend money and churn money into the economy. Even though you take a look at that one chart that's right there, I pointed out that, yeah, the gold bar is quite a bit higher than some of those other places. But you take a look at households, they're spending quite a bit of money as well. So keep on selling those bitches a dream, and they'll eventually buy it. But society, in a couple of decades, will end up suffering the consequences. Enjoy the decline, friends. I don't say this with any sort of happiness or malice, even in my heart. If you read into that anything, that's on you right there. Okay, I just purport the facts. Okay, the economists out there know that the female dollar is easy to procure, okay? And they know that guys are going to be out there, okay, especially on the categories that they selected right there, are just going to, spend money in very obvious, ways in order to attract the other single females, okay? They're trying to sell you a dream. But this article is free. This video is free for me breaking it down, but at least I'm going to give you a little bit of value here at the end, okay? If they're giving you something for free, if they're going to try to tell you how good and wonderful and fantastic that is, you can go out there, you can make your own money, you don't need to be dependent on a man, you can be a strong, independent woman, which means you're independent from a man. I could have pulled up another article that's out there, okay, of the woman who's in her 60s and 60s and 70s who is happy about the decisions that she made, that she decided that she doesn't want a family, she just wants to go out there and she just wants to live her life, she just wants to be successful in her career, and she's going to reach the top. But when you look for those articles, they don't exist. you know what you do see? A lot of women in their 50s and 60s writing these screeds, these long old posts that are out there that are published saying that I regret every decision that I make. You don't find mothers, you don't find grandmothers, you don't find great-great-grandmothers, okay, who are surrounded by their loved ones who are writing these, I regret having a happy family. You don't see that, okay? Make your choice at the end of the day. If you think that you really have a career out there, that you went to school and you accumulated all of that student debt that you cannot bankrupt on, okay, that Joe Biden is not going to come and save you for. He's just going to try to use that as a tactic in 2024 to get reelected, okay? They want to keep you under their thumb. They want to keep you subservient, but then they want to tell you, you go girl, you can push everything off into the future. You can freeze your eggs. And then when you want to unthaw them to start a family, 20% of the time it's successful. Congratulations, they sold you a dream in order to make the most money off of you. If you're not being a tax slave from the government, you're being a wage slave by the system. Make your own choice at the end of the day. I just provide the facts. I just work here. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.